Hi, everyone. This is Mary Kurek with Frontrunners Innovate. And you know, we love to bring to you exciting, interesting people who are doing fun, big things to, I'll say, solve the world's problems, but in some respect, close the gap on what is needed and, where we can find the solution to getting what is needed. And so we have a beautiful example of that today, and a woman that's after my own heart. And I say that because if you know me, you know that I am very actively pro-military in terms of taking care of our veterans and our servicemen and women and the families around them. I am a family of veterans, and so I appreciate. So thank everybody for their service. And wanted to bring somebody forward who's working with women in this respect, with the veteran, frame around it, and give you a little taste of what people are doing in that space, in particular, what she's doing. And she's out of Texas, and I want to introduce her to you. This is VR Small. And I'm going to ask you, what does the VR stand for?
Oh, Mary, I can't tell.
Oh, it's a secret.
It's just VR.
It's VR. Oh, let's see. Very real. We're just going to go with that. VR, very real. Okay. So VR is the founder and CEO of the Veteran Women's Enterprise Center out of Texas. Where in Texas again? Is it in Dallas?
Dallas, Texas.
All right. And so all things entrepreneur, but more than that, I think you can't get to entrepreneurism until you have something deep inside that's going on that can align yourself. So there's everything from spiritual to personal to business orientation going on there. What I love is that you've already created some really interesting programs and great partnerships, and we're going to get to that. But before we do, I feel like there's a story in you. I feel like there's a reason why you've migrated to this interesting line of work. So why don't we start there? VR, you have the floor. Tell us about your background.
Well, first and foremost, I am an Army brat. My stepfather is a retired Vietnam veteran.
Yeah.
Our family's military. My sister is still Army reservist. I think it was maybe a year ago she made E8, which is a really big thing as a reservist. So kudos to her. And then me. I think one of the things that people don't know about me is that I love teaching. I taught for 9 years when I was in New York in industrial psychology.
Oh, wow.
And also in a general survey of psychology for Touro College. And then I also taught at LIU. And so teaching is kind of how I move into everything that I do. And I've got a strong background in program development. And that's kind of led us into the center. I didn't move to Texas to start a women's center. When I left New York in 2015, I loved teaching, and I thought, okay, I'm going to come to Texas. There's a million universities here. I'm going to get a teaching job. I'm going to finish my doctorate. I'm going to write a book, and I'm going to retire. And that's it. And when I got here, it just didn't turn out that way. Actually, I didn't get any hits in the teaching arena. And I was like, oh my God, I've got 9 years of teaching. What's going on here? And I ended up going through a veteran program called Honor, Courage, and Commitment that helps veterans start their own business. So I had a business in New York, and my business was helping small businesses. So my company was Small Industries, Strategic Solutions, and we helped small businesses figure out how to strategize. And what I realized is that most small businesses are not ready for strategy, Mary. They want to get immediate gratification. So OD is not something that really excites them. And what we ended up doing was a lot of customized training because companies did need to get their employees trained. And so when I was doing my business here, I was really looking at something very different around HR. And it required AI and things that I just really didn't have a background in. At the same time, I did this great program called Roll Call for Women Veterans. And I coordinated this entrepreneur component. And after the event was over, people kept reaching back out to me and saying, hey, how can we get connected? And I just thought that was odd because there's so many business programs out there. So I said, well, let me just do my research. Why are people wanting to get connected? And I found out that there really was a need for programs for veteran women to come together, to get connected. So with a master's in human services, I'm kind of dedicated to building programs that help people, loving to teach. This was kind of a natural progression for me because it was a program. So I get to develop a program, which is actually a whole organization. So it was an awesome experience, and I'm still enjoying the journey.
So from educator to entrepreneur, and then combining the best of both worlds when you got to Texas because of have to. You know, I love it when God shows you the path by closing a door. It's awesome, isn't it?
No, you're not gonna do
You're
that.
like, oh my gosh, what now? You know, and then the what now shows up, and it's not.
You know, I had a women's organization in Brooklyn. And so when that organization closed and I moved here, I had no concept of starting another women's organization. But the first thing I came up with was the Veteran Women's Enterprise. And I was like, okay, here you go again. So there's this thing of bringing women together and building that sisterhood that even when you say, I don't want to do that, it just kind of drives you back into a place to be, and something needs to be done.
So how old is the organization now? Or the center?
We're in our 4th year.
Awesome. And about how many participants that you have right now?
Well, participants, that's interesting. So we count our numbers through engagement, through our services, and through impact. And so last year we engaged over 750 women because we have our numbers from 2020. So that was normally almost double our annual numbers. And so this year we reinstituted a lot of our programs, and what we're really focusing on is programming. So we have our Facebook programs that we do. They're Facebook Live. We do them once a week at 1 p.m. We like to give them catchy names, Mary. So we have Managing Monday on that first Monday of the month. We have Technology Tuesdays on the second Tuesday. We have our Women Warriors Winning the Business Battle, which is the third Wednesday of every month. And then we have Trending Thursdays, where we just look at different things that might be trending in the industry. And we provide an expert that chats with us for an hour, and the ladies can jump on Facebook Live and ask whatever questions they want. We call it Conquer Your Challenges by Engaging an Expert. And so these are open. You don't have to register. You don't have to do anything but show up and get what you need. And the goal is to really just let the women get connected, to start using social media for more than like happy birthday and graduations. But hey, we can do business here. So tell us about your business. Tell us what your challenge is. And if you've got a great business, answer somebody's challenge. Give them a tip. Tell them what you know and how you might be able to help them. And let's really start to build that network so we can do more B2B with each other.
So you are all about entrepreneurism and helping the veteran women kind of find their roots with that if they have an inclination to do so. And I know that you do some training around that. So talk to me a little bit about the programs that you have right now for them.
Awesome. So we have 5 signature programs, and one we call ourselves the Gap Fillers, Mary, because we don't really do the startup community. We're really our heart, you know, our season or our spice, as you might say, is that business that's been around for 3, 4, 5 years, maybe even 7, but they're hitting a wall. They're hitting those same revenues. They don't know how to scale, how to grow their business. So our first program, which we really launched last year, was our Next Level Business Transformation. They get 50 hours of critical technical assistance and a $5,000 grant. This is a foundational program. It's about literally transforming their business so that they can take it to the next level. So everything in it is interactive. And every time we meet with the ladies, I remind them, okay, how are you applying this to your business? Because if it's not applicable, then we shouldn't be doing it. So every session we're looking at, okay, how are you taking this information and using it to strengthen your business or to grow your business? Our next program is our Next Level Business Transformation, Fast Tracks to Contracts. And that one has criteria. The women have to be grossing minimally 100K or no more than 250. We walk them through a 14-day simulation of how to source a contract for their business, write that contract, and then submit it. And that's why we have that criteria, because they really have to be ready to do federal contracting. But this is why most small businesses don't do federal contracting. It's so overwhelming, and they just don't understand all of the particulars that the federal government lays out. Well,
And-
our consultant lays all of that out for them. They walk away with samples and templates. So basically, I like to say we're teaching them how to fish, but we don't drop the ball there. And I want to say that's the same thing for our other program. Our ladies are with us for a full year, even though the program ends in 8 weeks. They're with us for a full year. We meet every month and we make sure that they're still using the skills and things that we're giving them. And also, where do they need additional training? Where did we miss something? Where can we continue to help them strengthen their business? And it's the same way with fast tracks. Only in that group, we're looking at what other contracts have you identified? Who can you partner with? Are there subcontracting opportunities? And this group actually becomes a part of an alumni. So there are other people that have already gone through this program in a prime and are sitting and saying, hey, we want to do business with other veteran women. Bring them on.
Yeah.
Our next program is our Financials First, Building Business Credit. We're doing that with SMU, and this year is funded by BBVA, which was recently taken over by PNC. So we thank them so much for their sponsorship. Mary, 2-weekend boot camp. Everything you need to know about your finances, you will get in this boot camp. You will understand your finances. You'll be able to sit with your banker and challenge them on anything they ask you about your business. You say, no, this is how it is. This is what I'm doing. You'll know how to evaluate your business, all of the different ratios around business. And also, women and minorities tend not to calculate their equity. They don't calculate all of the finances that they put into their business. And so they are not taking full value of what they've already built. And so when the bank looks at their finances, they say, well, hey, you're not even backing yourself up. And then they'll say, yes, I have, but it's not documented. So we want to make sure they get all of those things. And our last program is our technology tactics. We knew this, but we saw it really clearly last year. So many of our small businesses are not technologically advanced, and that's a disadvantage for them. So this program helps them first make sure that they have a CRM. How are you building your client relationships? Because not every client wants everything you have. So how are you engaging them and how are you staying connected to them? And that was so critical last year. How do you stay connected to your clients when everybody is not out buying anymore? The other thing we do is business analytics. You know, what are your business analytics telling you about your clients? How they're engaging you, what they want from you, what they don't want from you. And then how do you use those analytics to really strengthen your campaign and your engagement? And the last thing, automation. How do you automate some of these things you're still doing manually that are sucking up so much of your valuable time?
Simplicity. Girl,
we as a one-woman show.
We're busy women, we run families, we're doing the groceries, we're doing the lunch. Come on. We need.
Mary, I just got my calendar link, and it is a godsend that I don't have to do 20 emails to get a meeting scheduled now. So
Thank
just
you, Lord. If they could just do it for 5 people at one time, that would be awesome.
I know. So that was our last program. So those are our 5 signature programs, and that's kind of where we put all of our energy because we feel like that's the crutch. That's how we can really help these businesses cross that bridge to the next level.
Wow, you've got a lot on your plate. And what I'm here, a couple of things I wanted to kind of bring up with you, because this is how the organic conversation flows, is that with veterans, women, now give me the criteria for being involved in any of your programs, and then I'm going to go to the next question.
So we recently changed the way that we word our mission, and we empower entrepreneur women associated with the military, because first and foremost, we serve veteran women, but we also serve active duty, reservists, and military spouse.
Okay.
They don't have to be honorably discharged, because we know that a lot of women, because of MST, may have gotten medically discharged, may have been retaliated against. So we take all that in consideration. If you served in the military and you can prove you served, we want to serve you.
Okay. Any age?
Any age. If they serve, they're of age for us.
Okay. So in my mind, because you just mentioning, which really surprised me, that program, the 50 hours with the 5K grant. Okay. That's fabulous. And I heard you earlier before we came on talk about having such a wonderful partnership for your next conference or whatever. That, or no, it's a competition, pitch competition that we were talking about. And I'm thinking, is there an advantage to you with what you're doing? You have the heart first, but is there advantage from a monetization standpoint for what you're doing to working with a couple of minority areas that helps with the grants, with getting grants for your programs? And I want to bring that forward because I think there's probably a lot of people out there that are working with different segments of groups that do not realize there might be grant opportunities for them to do what they're doing because of the population they're primarily serving. So can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Well, veteran women encompass every ethnicity, every race, every gender, all of it. But 96% of the women that we serve so far are African American, at least last year. And I think when people think veteran, they don't think minority. Number one, they don't think women, but they also don't think minority. And so our organization is often overlooked as all of these different strategies are going on to help women-led, women of color, entrepreneur programs. The Veteran Women's Enterprise Center is kind of like off of the radar. Because again, when you think veteran, you don't think women. And then when you think women, you don't think minority women. So there are lots of opportunities, but we literally have to go knocking at the doors because people don't really see us in that venue. Being in Dallas, about a block and a half from the main VA, we are in an LMI, a low to moderate income track. So a lot of our women come from that surrounding. Mm-hmm. And so we're right there where we need to be, but it's not always recognized.
Yeah.
Just by our name, just by the nature of our name. So we try to take advantage of all those opportunities. And I'm so glad you asked because most people don't, that we can share that. Yes, when we serve veterans, we serve all veterans, but the predominance of the women coming through our program are those very women that we're trying to highlight now and really get services and support too. And when you think veteran, think women, and also think minority women.
Yeah. Well, this is great. And it leads me into wanting to hear a success story. And I know you're about 4 years old as an organization, but I feel like by now you might have a story or two. So is there a favorite story of, you don't have to name names, but maybe a young lady that's come through and has started her business and that you're hearing good things about her moving forward with, you know, maybe I can see the wheels around like, oh my God, there's so many.
How do I pick? That's not fair to ask me to pick. So what I'm going to do is just tell you that our next level business transformation cohort from 2020 was absolutely fabulous. Mm-hmm. Every single one of them, in my opinion, are rock stars. So we have, and I don't mind naming. So we have Milk Mama, and she helps women learn how to, do their breastfeeding, but to sanitize it. So she doesn't actually do the breastfeeding kind of kit thing, but she does the sanitation so that wherever you go, you can breastfeed. And she's really doing some phenomenal things. She's left our program. Now she's with Impact Ventures looking for investors for her program as she expands it. Meanwhile, last year, she was thinking about totally closing her program. We have a military spouse who was able to get a $20,000 grant last year to run her first virtual program. She has ex-convicts get jobs. So she took them through this whole training. They all graduated. And I think she said 90% of her people have already gotten jobs. Also, she's doing some contracting with DART. And then one of our other ladies who does safety training, Greg Safety, and I want to say Sharon Covington Consulting Services. Make sure I give their names because they'll be mad at me and say, oh, you only named Kelly, is now doing her safety programs virtually. And that was big for her because she's been around forever, but she hadn't been virtual. And so when 2020 came around, all of these people were offering what she offered for pennies, virtually, whereas she was used to going to the people. So it was a really difficult but strong pivot for her to start looking at, hey, how can I offer what I do virtually so that I can get in this game and stay in this game until this pandemic is over and continue to build what I'm doing. And my last lady is my daycare, which is Keisha Cares. And she was about to pack up, go live with a daughter who just had a baby down south. And we got her back up and running. And not only is she back up and running, but now she's hired somebody to run her program. And she started a new business, training other women how to open personal home daycare centers. So these ladies have all like really converted and done what they're doing. And this year we have more products in our cohort than we had services. And so I'm really excited to see what we're able to do with them this year as far as getting them into new markets and getting them connected. So it's an exciting year.
That's fantastic. Okay, so you operate in cohorts. So you already got the one for this year then that's rolling?
Yes.
When do you start applications for the next one?
Our cohorts are totally based on funding. So we're already working on funding for 2020 now. We'd love to run a cohort every quarter because it's a total of 8 weeks.
Yeah.
But the cohorts are based on how much grant money we get. So how many women we're able to support with the grants, and then how quickly we get that money to launch the cohorts and get them rolling.
Okay, cool. So leads me into what's planned for the future and what type of people do you need to help you expand? Because it sounds like, at this point, you are your own entrepreneur. So you know that growth is happening, you're scaling, new programs, expanded cohorts, you've got some great success stories. So what's going on for the next year? I know you've got some plans of conference coming up, you've got the Pitch Fest, you've got all these other programs that you're running. So what's coming up that we can share with people so that they know that they can go to your website and maybe sign on, register, or find out more information?
Absolutely. Right now, we are still looking for new board members. It is time for us to upgrade our board. We have advisory board opportunities as well as board of directors opportunities. We have simplified it for you. The presentation is on our website. You can do the application on our website, or you can email us for more information and schedule a meeting, all on our website at your own convenience. So that's kind of first and foremost. And then second, we're looking to have more corporate partners. A lot of our sponsors are banks, and that's phenomenal. And we love our banking partners, but we're also looking to get more corporate partners that can also bring products and services to the network that we have with our women. So that I don't want to name anybody specifically, but we're looking for more corporate partners. For say Managing Monday, I would love to see a corporation come on, and for all of 2022, they're running Managing Monday, and we have a full calendar of what's going to happen on Managing Monday or Technology Tuesday. And so the ladies can kind of schedule in what do they need, what are they looking for, and then we don't have to spend time trying to look for different speakers. And of course, we always need funding partners, individuals as well as corporations, because we are a nonprofit, to get in there. And the long-term funding is a better. So multi-year funding is great when we know, like you asked me about my program. If we knew we had that for next year, we could say, oh, we're going to be launching first quarter. But because sometimes it takes the funders the end of the year or so before they make a contribution, that kind of makes us have to wait to see, hey, when can we offer this again? When can we get the ladies connected?
Back to where you talked about corporate partners and people that could take over some of the, let's say, the social calendar of expertise that you've got going on. Can you give us a little bit about attendance, normal attendance for that, so that somebody looking in could go, yeah, I'd love to do that. And yes, we all know that part of that is out of the goodness of their heart. The other part is they're an expert from XYZ company. So that's a little bit of promotion, or at least some visibility for them.
Absolutely.
So
one of the things we're looking at doing this year, and we're probably starting it in third quarter, is that we're creating these into podcasts where we're pre-recording them and then launching them, because we're finding in the middle of the day at 1 o'clock, a lot of our businesses are doing what we're doing. They're busy, they're having meetings, they're doing different things. But what we're seeing, if you go to our Facebook page, is that they are going back and previewing it. So they're looking at it, but just not at the time that we're launching it. So you do get the view, but you don't get it at 1 p.m. So what we're looking to do is pre-record those, know that they know it's going to be launched at 1 o'clock on Monday or 1 o'clock on Tuesday, and then they can go and view it at their leisure. It's sitting on our Facebook page, doesn't cost them anything.
Okay, cool. Very good. So the types of corporate partners or products and services, what we'd be looking for are match up with the technology, the financial expertise. So the types of experts you're looking for beyond technical and finance would be? Who else?
Well, first you have your Managing Monday. So that's everything to do with management, from anything to insurance to legal, everything that you need to manage your business. Technology is not just, your computers, but it's also your equipment, it's cybersecurity, it's all of those elements. And then Trending Thursday really just opens up to all the things that are constantly changing, like social media, media itself, pitching, things that are constantly
Like
in the
digital marketing and stuff.
Exactly. It never stays the same, but we need to stay on top of it. Do you remember Wang? Aha, see, that's what I tell the ladies about Trending Thursday. Wang was the first major computer people. They had the big giant computers, and because they had the market cornered, they were sleeping. And while they were sleeping, IBM took them over, and no one remembers Wang, but we all had Wangs. Wang was the company, but nobody remembers him now.
No, do not sleep.
Do not sleep. You got to know what's trending. You got to stay on top of what your competitors are doing so that you're not caught. And all of a sudden your product is obsolete.
Sure. Great. I may have some people to sling your way on that. For sure. That's great. And especially if this podcast is going to be recorded, that makes it easier on everybody. And that's why we do what we do, because, we'll do some live events here and there, which we've got a couple coming up too. But by and large, because I'm global, I never know what time of day it is in a certain area of the world that they may not be able to connect. So it's good that you have those things taped. So you collect people, is it a local, since we talked about global? You're a localized entity because you like people to come to a center. Is this true?
We're not. We are a national initiative. The center that we have here in Dallas is our model facility to kind of demonstrate what we're trying to produce across the nation. And during COVID, we picked up clients in 9 additional states. So we are trying to spread our reach to let more women know that we're available. We're also looking for more national sponsors, because sometimes if our sponsors are local, they want us to serve, local clientele. So as we get more national sponsors, we're able to engage all of those women across those nations in our programming, which we continue to have virtually. So we will have both virtual and on-site programs.
Okay, fantastic.
Absolutely.
I love this. This is great. Well, thank you so much, VR. This is great information. And I hope if any of you out there are tied to the military in any way, and if you're a woman looking at this, that you have a resource here now. And if you're a business corporation that likes what's going on here and knows this, and I'm just going to put it this way, it's a check mark in a great big box for a lot of corporations when you talk about your corporate responsibility. In terms of helping the women out there, especially women who are connected to a service, military service, and help them have a leg up and move out and create their own living and an entrepreneurial endeavor that's part of the economic development for wherever they are. So thank you for what you're doing. We're going to keep up with what's happening and stay on. I'll talk to you for a minute after we're over. So everybody out there who's watching this on YouTube, understand you need to go to www.frontrunnersinnovate.com, where you will get to see this interview and also the links that she provides us on how you can connect with her and all the wonderful programs that she has. So be sure to see us there. And again, thank you, VR. Appreciate all the good work.
Thank you, Mary. Have a good day, everybody.